Yo, what's up, everybody? It's your boy Sam B right here with the Tune Up Show. So check it out, right? Over the past, I would say, month, well, a few weeks now, it's been some debate about this "Don't Say Gay" bill that is, I think, being passed or trying to be passed in Florida, and what this bill entails that it will ban the talk or the curriculum of anything LGBT being taught to students, and just mainly in social settings. Me personally, the fact that we have to even go this far to ban it or even kind of, quiet it down, that's proof that the LGBT community is not really trying to fix anything. Okay? Because the one thing I've realized over the last few years that I've been paying attention to all of this is that the LGBT community, it just seems like they're in it for the shock value, not so much for what is right, what is wrong, what is natural, what is unnatural. They're in it for the shock value. I mean, just like men just like transgender women or men when they turn into women or whatever. I don't know. I'm still confused to this day. What would you call a person like that? But even men that transgender into women, they want to change their gender. They go out their way to seek out straight men. So my thing is like, okay, you want to be a woman so you can date straight men, but heterosexual men, I mean, you can look at the polls. Most heterosexual men, they want to be with heterosexual women. Their birth gender is women, is a girl. Most heterosexual men want to do that. And they ask them, it's plenty of people that ask transgender men, like, well, why do you have to go to heterosexual men, straight men, but you don't want to be with gay men that want to be with you? Like, there's a whole community of people that you can, and they come out of their mouth and they say it right then and there. They say, no, but there's no real attraction to the gay men. I'm a woman now. So I had to seek out. No, it's a shock value. They don't get the same thrill, the same fulfillment, because see, a gay guy is already, tainted in their eyes. This is the way I see it. A guy that's gay, it doesn't do the same. It doesn't give them the same thrill ride. You know what I mean? And to deceiving. I mean, most men that are women, and they purposely go after straight men, they're disguising themselves as a woman, and so you're being not only deceptive, but you're doing evil. You're wrong. That's why a lot of these transgenders, they they lurk in clubs. They're out late hours of the night. You'll never see these people during the day. But I mean, obviously, I'm digressing a little bit. I want to get back to the "Don't Say Gay" bill, but this bill that's being passed in Florida. It's going to it's sparking some real debate in the LGBTQ community. So I'm gonna let CBS talk about it, and I want it to be a backdrop to what's happening here. So I'm gonna go ahead and let them talk about it.
In other news this morning, Florida's legislature is one step closer to passing a controversial bill that would restrict any talk of sexual orientation and gender identity in classrooms. Critics call it the Don't Say Gay bill. They say it would hurt LGBTQ students and families. Manuel Bajorquez spoke with the bill's author. Manny, good morning.
Good morning. That Republican state representative told us this is about a parent's right to know what their children are being taught and said the subject matter is not appropriate for the earliest grade levels. But critics of the bill call it the latest salvo in a conservative culture war that is putting politics ahead of vulnerable children.
Well, that was always the case. They've always done that. They did that with the Me Too. Politics has always been before education. I mean, how do you think how do you think you were able to get African American studies in classrooms? How do you think you were able to get science in classrooms? You know, certain things was added to the educational system over decades. You know, and now LGBT discussions at school. I mean, if you want to make children aware of LGBTQ and whatever, I don't really care about that. I mean, it's going to happen anyway, but it's still a subculture, okay? Men with men, women with women, transgender. Now soon you'll have pedophilia to that list. It's all a subculture, all right? These people to this day, worldwide, they barely make up, I would say, 3% of the population worldwide. I mean, these are people that are these are people that are literally for LGBT. I mean, they live it, they talk it, they sleep it, eat it. Those people, yeah, they barely make up 3%, and even that, I'm probably being kind to that, but it's still a subculture. And when you're trying to put a subculture, you try to put ideology of subcultures into mainstream, living and mainstream culture, you're going to get some pushback. I mean, because not everybody is gay. Not everybody associates themselves with the LGBTQ plus community. Right here in Philadelphia, okay, they passed a law to where you can't openly protest against LGBT community. So with that being said, that's why everybody think that everybody's for it. No, everybody in Philadelphia is not for the LGBTQ plus community. It's just a law that was passed that you can't protest against them. Now, down there in Florida, and that law was passed in 1990, in the early 90s or late 80s, one or the other. And now we're dealing with Florida now with the Don't Say Gay bill where, hey, well, guess what? You're not going to be allowed to talk to my child in a school setting. You're not going to be able to talk about this. Now, all of a sudden, it's a bad thing. No, you can't. Look, it's going to cut both ways. Okay, you can't have it all, and for some reason that's what they want. That's what the LGBTQ plus community want. They want it all. Okay, they want everything, and for some reason they said it was a civil rights thing. No, it's not a civil rights thing. It's a gay thing. Okay, it's because you want to do what you want to do with your partner, and you want everybody to know about it, and you want everybody to accept it, and you want everybody to bow down to your ideology. And guess what? It's not happening.
Todd and Jeff Del May say their 12-year-old son Blake's public school in Hollywood, Florida, has been a welcoming place.
From preschool till...
And look at that child. I mean, come on, man. I mean, who's prompting this child? I mean, it is a shame because no child should be subjected to this kind of this kind of reality. You know, especially as a boy as young as he is. I mean, he's not being affirmed that he's a boy, or maybe he is. I don't know. But this, if this doesn't have any backlash on his upbringing as a boy, watching his most likely his father, or maybe he was adopted. I don't know, but it just, it's just such a slippery slope, man.
from preschool till 5th grade, it's been a great experience. We felt very accepted.
They fear the bill that passed the Florida House and a similar one expected to pass in the state Senate could change that.
If children are not feeling that they are accepted or who they are and the family they come from isn't accepted, it will have an impact on them.
The Parental Rights in Education bill says classroom instruction by school personnel or third parties on sexual orientation or gender identity may not occur in kindergarten through grade 3. Parents could sue school districts for violations. Republican State Representative Joe Harding sponsored the House bill.
We want focus to be on those basic fundamental things, the reading, the writing, the math. And when discussions come up, as a dad of 4 kids, children ask questions. Discussions are going to come up. We can't ban a conversation. We can't ban a discussion. That's not what we're doing.
But critics say just the threat of lawsuits could have a chilling effect on those discussions. And language in the bill banning those lessons when not age appropriate or developmentally appropriate for students in accordance with state standards could arguably apply to any grade. Joe Saunders is with Equality Florida.
So it applies to K through 12 classrooms, and it grants the right for any parent who believes that a conversation is happening about our families to sue a school district. It's an aggressive attack.
Well, it is aggressive because, sexual orientations, that's privacy. That should be talked about in private. That should never be a setting, especially in a school with kids. I mean, most kids don't even know who the heck they really are until they're out of high school. You know what I mean? It's all about trends. It's all about this. And honestly, I'm glad Florida is taking a stand on it, because it was one thing to be talking about human development in school, human anatomy, and just making people aware of human development, as far as as long as you're affirming boys are boys and girls are girls. But once you get into a subculture of teaching, then you're going too far. That means you're trying to indoctrinate. Okay, there's educating and then there's indoctrinating, and forcing LGBTQ ideologies into school curriculums, you're indoctrinating, and that right there, that shouldn't be in the school settings. Okay, and of course the talks are going to come up, discussions are going to come up, but the Don't Say Gay bill, yeah, I mean they should probably reword it, honestly. But if that's the case, then yeah, it should be banned from school curriculum, because that's a lifestyle choice, and whatever you do in life has nothing to do with your education. Okay, it has nothing to, like, whether or not someone's gay or not, or bisexual or transgender, that has nothing to do with education. That has nothing to do with reading, writing, and arithmetic. All right, so they need to stop playing these fast and loose games with the educational system, or they're going to know something.
Nationwide, there are 18 similar bills moving through 9 state legislatures. The advocacy group, the Trevor Project, has denounced them and says its research shows LGBTQ students who learned about LGBTQ issues or people at school had 23% lower odds of reporting a suicide attempt in the past year.
You may have...
Okay, so that means that there needs to be, there's plenty of recreation centers, there's plenty of schools that provide that kind of education. Whatever reason why they need it to be on a mainstream educational curriculum system is beyond me. Okay? Any child or children that are growing up in that kind of environment, there's plenty of other schools, there's plenty of other after-school programs that can be ran, there's plenty of other alternative schools that they can go to, right? There's free schools, actually, that they can go to. But see, like I said, it has nothing to do with the LGBT community. It has nothing to do with what they're doing personally, okay? It's all about that shock value. It's all about what they want to do in front of other people. Because I guarantee you this, if people stop caring about it and just let it all go, I guarantee you, people will start being heterosexual like that. Okay? People will stop being gay. But the fact that they're trying to make it like it's a mountain out of a molehill, okay? Me personally, I don't care who you're with. I can give a crap less about what a man does with another man or what a woman does with another woman. But I will always be against you if you're trying to take your ideology and impose it on these innocent, unsuspecting children that have no idea what you're talking about to begin with, but yet you want to feel like you want to feel like you have some kind of relevance, some kind of significance in people's lives, and that's just not going to happen. That shouldn't happen. You're imposing your lifestyle on kids, and there's other places for that. But on the mainstream educational curriculum system, no, it shouldn't be like that.
LGBTQ youth who do not have a supportive home environment. So wouldn't the school be a safe place? And isn't that necessary?
I think the schools are a safe place, and they need to continue to be a safe place.
This wouldn't change that.
This doesn't change a school being a safe place.
17-year-old Andrew Triolo says even without the bill, not all schools are safe for people like him. He is transgender and has been bullied or harassed, he says, out of every public school he's attended.
I think that if I would have had the language to express how I felt about my gender at a younger age, it would have saved me a lot of internal struggle and depression.
He recently spoke out against the bill at the state capitol.
I should get to go to school clubs and pick my activities in school, but I will never get to experience that like you did. I feel like people tend to boil down sexuality to just sex, and that's not what it is in the slightest. I mean, there's romantic attraction there, it's culture, it's identity, it's self-expression, and that is, I think, very important not to silence that.
Yeah, well, your father failed you, buddy, and I'm being very serious about that. His parents failed him. They didn't affirm him as a boy at a young age. That's why he's confused now. And I think that's a lie. Honestly, I think he's being prompted to say this stuff because he's on camera. They're just like he is obviously a part of a protected class of people. So for the fact that he's saying that I'm being bullied, I'm being this, I'm being that, I can never go back to believing or living or whatever. And I'm like, look, whatever, cry me a river, dude. Okay, you got kids out here that got to dodge bullets on the way to school. Okay, a little bullying, a little harassment, that ain't shit. All right, over a lifestyle you chose. Okay, if you're old enough, let me tell you something. And see, this is the problem, because this is, and I know I might be coming off harsh right now, but it is what it is. All right, you got 5-year-old kids that got to walk through needle, drug infested, crime infested areas. You know what I mean? On their way to school, and deal with all types of stuff. And this clown, I just can't do it because I'm transgender. Like, whatever, dude. Like, I don't. You go live in a neighborhood where just by turning a corner you can get shot in the face. Okay, you try living in that neighborhood and look at your life and see if you still got it that bad. Okay, I'm real sick of this, victimizing of people who aren't really victimized. Okay, they're being aggrandized as victims. Okay, there are no victims. Okay, it's all. I did a video not too long ago about are gay people being bullied? Are gay people being harassed? It's not happening. Okay, and if it is happening, it's a very, very low percentage. Okay, and if anything, same-sex couples they have a higher domestic dispute, domestic situations than heterosexual couples. Okay? So, and all you gotta do is just do your research. I mean, if you don't believe me, that's fine. It is what it is. But I had to talk about this Don't Say Gay bill. No, the lifestyle of the LGBTQ plus community should never be imposed on little children, especially children that are being raised by parents that don't believe in that. It's got to cut both ways. All right, you want schools to learn and to teach LGBT curriculum, then you need to go to a school that teaches that curriculum. That should never be for the masses because everyone's not for it and everyone is not for it. It's just a fact. All right? But that's the show. Leave a comment, like, share, subscribe. Do what you got to do. And if you don't like what I'm saying, leave it in the comments. It is what it is. This is the 2M Show. I call it as I see it. All right? Peace.